Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, as we know that we are covering the universe, right? And so far we have done two parts, part 1 and part 2. In this lecture, basically we are going to talk about the universe and that is going to be our part 3. Okay? In this lecture, we are going to talk about the Mercury, Venus, the Earth, the Moon, Supermoon, Blue Moon, Blood Moon, Lunar Tetrad, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, some facts and figures about the planets, asteroids or planetoids, meteors and meteorites, comets, features of a comet. So these all we are going to cover, starting with the Mercury, then Venus, the Earth, the Moon, Supermoon, Blue Moon, Blood Moon, Lunar Tetrad, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, some facts and figures about planets, asteroid or planetoids, meteors and meteorites, comets, and features of a comet. Okay. But before starting this actual lecture, there is a small disclaimer over here that we are required to understand first. And the disclaimer goes like, the images used in a slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Now, let's begin with the Mercury first. So if we talk about the Mercury, so remember, Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. Like if you look at this picture, so this is our Sun at the center. Here you can find Mercury. Okay, so look at the other planets and now look at the Mercury and then look at the position of the Sun. So you will find that this is the closest planet to the Sun. It is extremely hot planet because it is in a very close proximity to Sun. It is visible 2 hours before sunrise. Its special features is the presence of magnetic field in it. So Mercury having a magnetic field, so that's why it is count as the special feature of that particular planet. It is the smallest and the lightest of all the planets we see in the solar system. It has no moon. The planet has no water on it. So these are the features and facts about the Mercury. Now let's move ahead. So here we have the Venus. Talking about the Venus, then Venus is the second planet in the distance from the Sun. Like here you can see Venus. Alright, this is Mercury, this is Venus. So Venus is the second planet if we count the distance from Sun towards the planet. The planet is nearest to the Earth and is also the brightest planet. Like if this is our Earth, then you can say Venus is just another orbit away from the Earth. So you can say it is in very close proximity to Earth and it is the most brightest planet in the solar system. Venus is also known as evening star as well as morning star. Venus is surrounded by a thick cloud cover, hence known as the veiled planet. Veil means unclear or cover. Venus is like the Earth in size and mass and hence also known as the Earth's twin. It also rotates clockwise like Uranus. Venus is the hottest planet, even hotter than the Mercury of our solar system due to its wheel of. So you can say, however, Mercury is in the close proximity to the Sun, but the hottest planet in our solar system is the Venus. Why? Because Venus having the veiled cloud that is covering the entire planet. So you can say this is the planet and this is the rain cloud. So when the sun rays hit the planet, they couldn't escape because of this trapping of this cloud. So that's why when they couldn't escape, they remain on the planet. And when the hot sun rays remain on the planet, automatically the temperature of the planet will goes up. So that's why it is regarded as the hottest planet in the solar system, even hotter than the Mercury. Now, let's talk about our Earth. So, Earth is the largest of the inner planets and fifth largest planet of our solar system. So here you can say you are seeing the two different things: largest planet and fifth largest. So what do we mean by this? So remember, when we talk about Earth, then Earth is the largest planet in terms of inner planet. Now what are the inner planets? So basically there are the total 8 planets in our solar system. Okay. Kindly do not include Pluto in it. Like most of the time, I have seen the people who are getting confused at whether there are the 8 planets or 9 planets. Okay. So just remember, till 2006, yes, there were 9 planets in our solar system. But in the year of 2006, International Astronomical Union, they held a meeting at Prague in September 2006, and in this meeting they set the 3 criteria to declare any heavenly body as a planet, and out of these 3 only 2 criteria could be met up by the Pluto, and 1 criteria they couldn't meet. So that's why the Pluto has been debarred as the planet of our solar system, and now it is known as the dark planet. So remember, there are total 8 planets in our solar system. Out of this 8, we have the another division also. Like first 4, Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. These first 4 are termed as the inner planet or terrestrial planets. What do you mean by the terrestrial, Zovian? We will look at. Second, the rest 4 means Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. These are the outer planets and Jovian planets. Okay. So if we take the first 4 inner planets, then Earth is the largest of them. And if we take all the 8 planets, then remember Earth is the 5th largest of them. Okay. The Earth is 23 by half tilted on its axis and thus make 66.12 degree of angle. Okay. The Earth rotates by 1 degree in every 4 minutes. Okay. So if you are talk about the time, so suppose if there is 12 p.m. So by the time there will be a 4 p.m., the Earth will rotate 1 degree on its axis. It takes total 23 hours, 56 minutes and 4.091 seconds to rotate on its axis with a speed of 1610 km per hour. So Earth actually rotating on this speed, and with this speed it requires totally 23 hours, 56 minutes and 4.091 seconds to rotate on its axis, completing a one rotation. And that's why usually we have the days of 24 hours, 1 day, right? It takes total 365 days, 5 hours and 48 minutes to revolve around the sun. So remember, Earth having the two motions, rotation and revolution. When we talk about rotation, so on the basis of rotation, the Earth is actually rotating on its own axis. Okay, this is the rotation. Okay, this phenomena actually affects the day and night on Earth. When we talk about revolution, so if this is a sun and this is Earth, so revolution is like this. When the Earth completes one revolution or one round around the sun. Okay, and this phenomena controls the seasons, also the year and other things. So when we talk about the days, that is rotation. When we talk about the year, that is the revolution. Got it? Mean velocity. So Earth having a mean velocity of 29.8 kilometers per hour per second. Sorry, not hour, per second. Earth is known as the watery planet or the blue planet due to the presence of huge amount of water on it. So if you look at Earth from the space, that's how it will appear to you. So it will appear as a blue. Why? Because it's having a huge amount of water. If we take the total Earth as 100%, then remember, out of this 100%, 77% is the water and 23% is the landmass where we live on. Okay, and Earth is so far only known planet which having a water and life. Okay, remember is like so many times we have tried a different atoms on Moon, on Mars and other places in order to find a evidence of water or presence of life, but right now we do not have that much of satisfactory records and that much of satisfactory evidence. Then we could say 100% yes, out of Earth there is a life also. Okay, so far Earth is the only planet known to us which having water, life and others. Earth is the only known planet which provides subsistence or life on it, as I have told you. It having the large quantity of oxygen which supports life. Now, if we talk about the other planets, mainly they having one gas in excess. Like some planets having the methane, especially in the case of Neptune. Some having the hydrogen and helium, especially in the case of Jupiter. Okay, but Earth is the only planet which having the large quantity of oxygen. Okay, and this large quantity of oxygen is there to support the life on the Earth. Then the Moon. So the Moon is actually the natural satellite of Earth. Okay, so Moon is the only satellite of Earth. It's having the diameter of 3,475 kilometers and its circumference is 10,921 kilometers, while its orbit is elliptical. The maximum distance apogee of the Moon from the Earth is 4,05,696 kilometers. Minimum distance perigee is 3,64,000 kilometers and approximate average distance is 3,60,000 kilometers. So if we talk about them, remember, suppose this is the Moon, sorry, this is the Earth. So this is the elliptical orbit of the Moon in which it revolves around the Earth. So when the Moon will be here, that will be a minimum distance perigee from the Earth and that will be around 3,64,000 kilometers. When the Moon will be there, that will known as apogee or the maximum distance, and the distance is nearly about 4,05,696 kilometers. If we talk about the average is 3,60,000 kilometers. It takes total 27 days, 7 hours and 43 minutes to rotate on its axis. This period of about 27.72 days is what we call sidereal month, and approximately the same period of time it takes to revolve around the Earth. The Moon's period of revolution with reference to the Sun is about 29.53 days. That means 29 days, 12 hours and 44 minutes and 2.8 seconds. This period is called a synodic month. Only 59% of the total surface of the Moon is visible from the Earth. Because of the distance, we could not see the entire mass compared to that of the Earth is 1:81.30. That's the density. Related to that of the water, that will be 3.34. Density related to that of the Earth, that will be 0.6058, and hidden part of Moon surface is nearly about 0.41. That means 41%. So remember, whenever you see the full moon, even I'm saying you are seeing the full moon. So remember, you could only see its 59% of area. Rest 41 area will be hidden from you. Highest point on the moon is Mons Huygens, 18,046 feet, situated on the south pole of the moon. Okay, so this is the highest point on moon. What is the highest point on Earth? Mount Everest. Okay, 8,848 meters. For moon, that is the Mons Huygens, that is nearly about 18,046 feet. The bright part of the moon is full of mountains, whereas the dark patches are low-lying plains. So if you look at this moon and you are finding that these parts are bright, remember, these are the mountains, and these patches that you are seeing, these are the low-lying plains. Sea of Tranquility, that is made up of the plan of dust particles, is on the rear side of the moon, which always remain dusk. So Sea of Tranquility or Sea of Peace is actually the plane that is having the dust particle, and this is situated on the rear side of the moon, which remains dark always. The moon having no atmosphere, no twilight, and no sound, because it is not having that much of gravity to hold the particles together. So that's why it's not having no any atmosphere. Okay, when there is no medium, total vacuum, the sound could not travel in it, and also it is having no twilight because there will be a no refraction phenomena occurs on the moon because there is no medium. The temperature during the daytime is nearly about 106 degrees Celsius, and during night it drops down to about minus 183 degrees Celsius. So there is a huge variation in the temperature of the moon. The light from the moon takes 1.3 seconds to reach the Earth. Okay. The size of the moon is 1/4 to the size of the Earth. Gravitational pull of moon is 1/6 to that of the Earth. Mainly silicon, iron, magnesium, etc. elements are found on the moon's surface. The study of moon is what we call selenology. Okay, this is important. This could be asked in the examination. Like, what do you mean by selenology? Remember, that is the study of moon. And if it asks in a different way, like the study of moon is what we call, so remember selenology. Moon is also known as the fossil planet. Why? Because it is believed that it has been detached from the Earth. Supermoon. So what do you mean by the supermoon? So supermoons happens when a full moon is closest to the Earth, appearing bigger and brighter than normal. They are called super because they are 15% brighter and 13% bigger than the regular full moons. Blue moon. So if in a calendar month there are 2 full moons, then the second full moon is referred as a blue moon. It is because of the gap between the 2 moons, which is less than of 31 days. If in any specific year blue moon appears in 2 or more than 2 months, then it is referred as a blue moon year. Blood moon. So the blood moon is actually the name that we have given for a view of the moon during a total lunar eclipse. It is look like this. Because of the way light passes through the Earth atmosphere during an eclipse, red light from the sun is reflected onto it. The moon is reddish color, hence its name blood moon. So it happened when, suppose this is the sun, this is the Earth, and this is the moon. Okay. So when the Earth is between the sun and moon, so the rays of sun is directly reflected on the moon. Okay. So because of this, it appears reddish to us. Okay, and that is what we call the blood moon, and that is the total lunar eclipse. Okay, then lunar tetrad. A sequence of 4 total lunar eclipses during no partial eclipses is what we call a tetrad. Mars. Iron-rich red soil and pink sky of Mars give it the name red planet. Okay, it appears like this. Mars having the cool desert of world. It is half of the size of the Earth. Like Earth, Mars also having the seasons, polar ice caps, volcanoes, canyons, and weather. It having no atmosphere it having the atmosphere that is made up of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and all. Whereas Earth having the atmosphere which is made up of mainly nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, ozone. Okay. So this is the difference between the atmosphere of Earth and the atmosphere of Mars. Mars is also a terrestrial planet because if you remember, I have told you when we talk about the inner and outer division. So the inner planets are known as the terrestrial planets and the outer planets known as the Jovian planets. So Mars is also in the category of inner planets, so that's why it is known as the terrestrial planet. It is small and rocky. Mars has a thin atmosphere. Mars having an active atmosphere, but the surface of the plains is not that much of active. Its volcanoes are dead. So you can say the Mars having the volcanoes. But unlike Earth, their volcanoes are not active and these are dead. One day on Mars lasts for 24.6 hours. It is just a little longer than a day on Earth. 1 year on Mars is 687 Earth days. It is almost twice as long as 1 year on Earth. So on Earth, we take 365 point something to take the one revolution around the sun, and Mars take nearly about 687 days in order to complete the one revolution around the sun. So that is almost twice the time of Earth that is taken to revolve around the sun. Mars having the 2 moons, like whereas the Earth only having the 1 moon, the Mars having the 2 moons named Phobos and Deimos. Their names are Phobos and Deimos. Here you can see them. Mars is the 4th planet from the sun. Okay, and it is also the last planet in the term of inner planets. That means Earth and Jupiter are Mars' neighboring planets. Because if this is Earth, this is Mars, and this is Jupiter. So Mars having a friendship of both the Earth and the Jupiter. And it is also the last planet of the inner system. So after it, the Jovian and the outer planet starts. Now the Jupiter. So if we talk about the total 8 planets that we have in our solar system, so Jupiter is the largest planet of all amongst them. Okay. It is the largest planet of our solar system. Jupiter is also known as winter planet. Why? Because its average temperature remains very low, nearly about minus 148 degrees Celsius. Ganymede, yellow in color, it is the largest satellite of Jupiter and it is also the largest satellite in solar system. Okay, so remember, Ganymede is actually the natural satellite of Jupiter, or you can say one of the natural satellite of Jupiter. Okay, it is yellow in color, and that is just not only the largest satellite of Jupiter but also the largest satellite of our solar system. Now the Saturn. Saturn is the second largest planet in the solar system. It has bright concentrating rings which are made up of ice and ice covered dust particles which revolve around it. So here you can see these rings that you are seeing around the Saturn. So these are mainly the ice and the ice covered dust particles, and they are revolving around the Saturn and appearing as a rings. Okay. Titan is the largest satellite of the Saturn. Now Uranus. So Uranus about 4 times in the size of the Earth. This planet appears greenish in color because of the methane gas, because the methane gas is in the highest concentration in the atmosphere of Uranus. It was discovered in 1781 by Sir William Herschel. Okay, so this is one of the planets that we were discovered by the help of telescope. It is the first planet to have been discovered by the use of telescope, and it is also the third largest planet of our solar system. The first is Jupiter, then Saturn, then Uranus, then Neptune, then Earth, then then Venus, then Mars, and then Mercury. So this is the sequence. Now Uranus. So Uranus is extremely cold, having the surface temperature nearly about minus 190 degrees Celsius and surrounded by 30 rings that we name Zeta, Alpha, Beta, Eta, Gamma, Delta, Lambda, Epsilon, Nu, and Mu. Okay. Uranus rotates from east to west on its axis, which is opposite to other planets except the Venus. So generally the planets, including Earth, revolves in the clockwise direction. That means west to east. Sorry, anti-clockwise direction. West to east. Okay. But for the case of Uranus and Venus, they having the clockwise rotation like this. That means east to west. Okay. So only two planets, Venus and Uranus. These are only two planets in our solar system that having the clockwise rotation or east to west. Rest other, they having the anti-clockwise or west to east rotation. The axis of Uranus has large inclination so that it appears to be lying down, hence it bears the name a planet on its side. So if we talk about this axis, okay, so for Uranus the axis is highly tilted. Okay, so that's why it is always regarded as a planet which is on its sides. Now the Neptune. So Neptune is the 8th farthest planet of the solar system. The temperature on the surface of Neptune remains low because of the distance from the Sun. It is very similar to Uranus and could be considered as its twin also. It is surrounded by the methane rings of sub-zero temperature. Planets according to their decreasing size, if we go by them. So remember, first is the Jupiter, then Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Earth, Venus, Mars, and Mercury. Planets according to their decreasing mass. Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Earth, Venus, Mars, and Mercury. Planets according to their decreasing density. Earth, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Neptune, Jupiter, Uranus, or Saturn. Now let's talk about the terrestrial planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, these are the terrestrial planets. And Jovian planets are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Planets according to decreasing revolution period: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Then planets according to decreasing revolution velocity: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Now some facts and figures about the planets. So first, name of the planet, then distance from the Sun, orbital period, that is the time taken for one revolution around the Sun, rotation period, time taken to turn on its own axis, diameter of planet, mass of planet, number of satellites or moons. Mercury, Distance from the sun is 57.9 into 10 power 6 kilometers. Orbital period 88 days. Rotation 1407.6 hours. And diameter of the planet is 4879 kilometers. Mass is 0.330. Number of satellites known. Venus, distance from the sun 108.2 into 10 power 6 kilometers. Orbital period 224.7 days. Rotation period of 243 days. Diameter 12,104 kilometers. Mass of planet 4.87. Number of satellites known. Earth, distance from the sun is 149.6 into 10 power 6 kilometers. Orbital period 365 days. Rotation period 23 hours. Diameter of planet 12,756 kilometers. Mass of planet 5.79. Number of satellites 1. Mars 227.9 into 10 power 6 kilometers. Orbital period 687 days. Rotation 24.6 hours. Diameter of planet 6,792 kilometers. Mass of planet 0.642. Number of satellite or moons 2. Jupiter, distance from the sun is 778.6 into 10 power 6 kilometers. Orbital period 11.85 years. Rotation period 9.9 hours. Diameter of planet 1,42,984 kilometers. Mass of planet 1898. Number of satellites or moon 79. Saturn, it is 1433.5 into 10 power 6 kilometers. Orbital period is of 29.42 years. Rotation is 10.7 hours. Diameter 1,20,536 kilometers. Mass of planet 568. Number of satellites 82. Uranus, distance from the sun is 287.5 into 10 power 6 kilometers. Orbital period is 83.74 years. Rotation period is 17.2 hours. Diameter 51,118 kilometers. Mass 86.8. And then number of satellite 27. Neptune 4,495.1 into 10 power 6 kilometers. Orbital period is 163.71 years. Rotation period is 16.1 hours. Diameter of planet is 49.528 kilometers. Mass of planet 102. Number of satellites or moon 14. Now let's have a talk over the asteroids or planetoids. So asteroids are also known as minor planets. They are objects that revolve around the sun, mostly found between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, and it is also considered as a division line between the inner planets and the outer planets. The planets which fall in that side, these are the inner, and that side outer. They are a belt of debris which fail to assemble into planets and keeps on revolving around the sun. These has come to be called as asteroid belt. All asteroids rotate on their axis every 5 to 20 hours. Certain asteroids may have satellites also. Trojan asteroids found in two clouds moving in the orbit of Jupiter, one moving ahead of it and the other moving behind it. Meteors and meteorites. Meteors and meteorites are also called shooting stars. Meteors are fragments of rocks coming towards the Earth formed due to the collision of asteroids with another one. Meteors are usually small and due to the heat produced by air resistance burns up before they reach the Earth's surface. When meteors are large and do not burn up completely, they land on the Earth's surface and are known as the meteorites. All meteorites believed to originate in the asteroid belt, where a sudden collision may send them towards the Earth and the Earth's gravity attracts them towards its surface. Then the comets. These are known as the visitors of the solar system. Comets, the name derived from the Latin word stella cometa, meaning the hairy star, are among the most spectacular and unpredictable bodies in the solar system. Comets move around the sun in regular orbits, but their orbits are elongated ellipses that it takes them hundreds and sometimes even thousands of years to complete one revolution around the sun. Comets are made up of frozen gases which hold together rocky and metallic minerals. Comets. Again, the comet becomes visible only when it travels close to the sun. Its ice melts and the gas and dust sweat back into a tail. This tail always points away from the sun. So when it is traveling away from the sun, it is led by its tail. Now, what are the features of a comet? A comet is characterized by a long luminous tail which emits light. But this is visible only when the comet's orbit passes close to the sun. When the comet travels close to the sun, the ice melts to a head of a gas called coma. The sun radiation sweeps this into a gas tail. Dust particles also sweep back to a form of dust tail. So with this, we have finished this lecture. It is requested to all of you kindly revise the facts and figures that all we have discussed in this lecture and keep yourself ready for the next lecture. With this note, let's end this lecture and thank you.